Hello, my little goblins. We're back at it again, and this time we're here with Spright Tri-Brigade. I know you didn't like the first word I said. Big no-no word. Big little naughty word. Spright. But guess what? We're also playing Tri-Brigade. So, it's probably one of the more least played sprites out there. At least for now. Because the deck's missing cards that aren't printed yet. So, once those cards come in, maybe this deck gets even better. So, we're gonna jump into some matches. You guys will end up seeing what we end up coming up with boards, but most of the time, if you can end with like a Spright, IP Masquerena, a couple of maybe a hand trap or two, the Spright negates, and like possibly an Ancient Warriors, but most likely a Revolt. I think you're gonna have a good time, right? All right, so let's get into some games, and we'll see how the deck is played, and see who dominate, because that's what we're here for, right? Me dominating the foos. Hello, my friends. We're here with game number 1, and we're playing against the Mirror. Not very good for me, considering he's going first, and all I got is an imperm to show for it. So this is going to look a little bizarre. I honestly should imperm the Spright Elf's activation. Mainly because you're going to see a really weird play he does here. He uses Nerval, adds Fractal, right? And this tells me, like, I'm thinking there's no way he adds Fractal unless he has Kairos in his hand, right? That's what I'm thinking, automatically. So I'm like, okay, well, I'd rather just save my negate for Gigantic, right? So he ends up bringing out Kit, but then he uses Fractal to send Kairos to the graveyard. So I'm like, what is happening? So here I just imperm the Kit. Honestly, I don't even know if that was a good imperm. It didn't matter. Crossout Designator is going to remove that choice from me, which is honestly nice to limit the burden on me on the misplays. Because honestly, I have no idea what he was doing half the time. I was a little confused. So he goes into Bear Brum. Bear Brum plus Kit is going to go into Spright. And then we're going to go into Spright Carrot. And he's just going to set Trap and then pass. Okay. Alright. Our hand with him having Carrot, I want to try and bait Carrot with this Monster Reborn. I also want to bait Elf to try and target Kairos instead of Red. Now I'm going to call by the grave. This forces him to Carrot because he wasn't baiting, he didn't do anything to Monster Reborn, so whatever. So he brings back Red. I Monster Reborn his Kairos, which is fine. I know it sounds silly, but now I can summon Spright Blue without I can special summon it. Now I activate Fractal. He's going to negate the Fractal with Red. And this is all dandy. So there's one. So I play Spright Blue, right? Obviously, it's going to search out Jet. Now, when I summon Jet, literally his only play to do, the only logical play is to actually go, like the only play that makes any remote sense, right, is to go into to use Revolt. You get all the triggers happen, like all his triggers happen, right? He'll be able to add a card to his hand and all this other stuff. Plus he gets to banish a card, right? Because it's already too late here, because now I add Starter. So now if he did play Revolt, I can Starter for I could Starter for Red. But if I activate Starter here, right, and he activates Revolt now, I could still just go for Red. So he's already screwed. He needed to do this before I added Starter to hand. So now I just go into Carrot. So Revolt will never even activate to begin with. Now he goes for his Revolt. I just get rid of Kairos. Here you go. Here's your fucking monster back. Boom. Now we're going to detach to summon Kit, which is going to be very important because Kit will also send Nerval, which gives me Fractal. Now we're going to activate Elf to bring back the Kit. Then Kit is going to banish 2. Go into Ancient Warriors. And then another Gigantic Spright. Now here I did not realize this, so forgive me. But I activate Spright Gamma Burst. I didn't realize it increased his attack too. So his card's beefy as hell. Still only like 1800. Then we're going to send that to the graveyard. We bounce, and we got lethal. GG. Very clean plays. I just wanted to give you guys the breakdown and why I did some of these plays, because a lot of people in the disc when I was streaming, I feel like I was losing them on some of the plays I was doing. They were like, "Why are you doing this?" It's like, well, there's the conda of a semi-complicated game state, so I think it makes more sense to just explain it. Hello, my little goblins. We're here with game number 2, and we have Gamma in hand. We have Spright Blue. Our hand's actually surprisingly bad. So we're playing against Salomon Greats, or that's what it seems. So this is a bad play anyway. So like, if you have Imperm and Gamma in hand, probably makes more sense to Imperm here. But the thing is, what's going in my mind, if I Gamma the Gazelle, a lot of these Salomon Great cards, or like Cyber's cards in general, they can't special summon unless they have their archetype on the field. So like, on my mind, I'm thinking, well, if I get Gazelle off the field, he might not have any other extenders. So that's why I Gamma here. But he ends up having Foul in hand. We're going to have a twist here. You're gonna see what I'm talking about. So you pop it, whatever. This man is playing Math Mech. I can't even explain this. And just to give you an idea, this is like Duelist level 19. Like 18, 19 or something. All the games that you guys are watching is from Duelist level 18 to 20. So he's going to summon Nabla. Get Circular. He's going to get the Super Factorial. This, I honestly have never seen this used in the deck. I'm sure people use it, but I thought it was odd, personally. He goes into Final Sigma. I guess it's an easy Final Sigma, but I don't even think this is a good card to go into. I don't know. But he has Diameter in the graveyard, so we're going to activate Super Factorial. Kid's going to activate. We're going to activate another Fractal. So we're going to activate Monster Reborn. This forces him to use Super Factorial. So now, I'm going to tell you right now, in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, this guy needs to snipe Fractal. Like, I need Karos and I need Blue. Because my dummy head, for some reason, decided to add Fractal to hand. Actually, Fractal's not horrible. Never mind. I take it back. I'm so harsh on myself. It's actually, Fractal's not horrible. Like, if he doesn't hit Fractal, we still have plays. Because I can just normal summon Fractal, activate his ability. Because you're going to see, it forces him, he goes into La Pouncia. And then I'm going to activate Imperm. And then, he's going to be forced to use the Negate. Which is fine. Hits a Fractal. Riguchi. Honestly, the game's easy at this point. I might actually fast forward through this because the game's so easy. I had Gamma Burst. That is how confident I am to stomp the hell out of this guy. So, do not do what I do here. On stream, I'm going to tell you guys right now. I do this for the laughs on stream. Okay? You don't go into Shurig. Like, if you're playing this legitly, go into Ancient Warriors or you go into Farrajet, right? You go into one of those, or you actually don't even use Chaos right now. Probably just go into Gigantic Max, or you just go into, honestly, right now, you probably just go into Spright Elf. This is ridiculous, doing what I'm doing right now. I'm just going to point it out. These plays are ridiculous that I'm doing. Like, they make no sense. Oh my gosh, they're so bad. So he adds Circular to hand. Okay. I'm going to add Kit to hand. We attack with Karos. Oh my gosh, it's so bad. We attack for 3k. It's bad, but it's funny. You know what I mean? We still got 1 negate. That's something. That's more than most people get for Christmas, you know? He goes into Splash Mage. So I'm holding red hard here. Like, he brings back this. And, like, at this point, he goes into Transcode Talker. And if he doesn't have, like I'm not afraid of Transcode Talker. He's going to get unaffected because of this card. But, like, as long as he does not have Update Jammer, like, I'm not dying. So I don't really care. Like, I just need to survive this turn, you know? Now, if he resolves Circular, I lose the game right now. Because then he would be able to go into Update Jammer easily. So, we definitely stop Circular. And he has no other extenders, so he go into Access Code. But we definitely, us being stupid and going into Shurig because I don't get to play him often because my opponents just concede before then. Yeah, that shit could have cost us the game pretty big. If we just did the plays normal, like we went into the Ancient Warriors or something like that, like we would have won hard. Like it would have been easy. This is fine too, though. Like this is easy win too here at this point. So we do that. Boom, 3,000 attack, and he loses. I just thought it was a funny game. It was funny on stream too. All right, we're here with game number 3, and we're playing as Yugioh. So our hand's ass, so we have to normal summon Max C. You gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. I was debating actually just passing because I had the Ash, Max C, and Gamma in hand. But I was like, fuck that shit. I'm just gonna go in. People, you know what ends up happening is I probably would have just passed normally. But people in my chat, when I'm on Twitch, they bait me into doing things and they edge me. You know what I mean? Like, you know when you have that friend that tells you to do really stupid shit? That's what Twitch does. That's what these people do to me. They're all kind of like, hey dude, just do this. Come on, bro. And I'm like, oh, okay, that seems like a good idea. It's not a good idea most of the time. Does make me laugh though. It makes for funny clips. But we actually put up a pretty respectable board here. Technically, no, never mind. We couldn't. I was thinking that we probably we could have gone into the Ancient Warrior, but I don't think we could have. So we Ash here. So I actually think this Ash was not very good. So the reason why I think this Ash was bad was because I'm going to need board space. So I think I should have used Carrot because I need to get rid of Farajit. Because when I use IP Masquerena, right, I'm going to need to have space for Revolt. Right? So I should have saved the Ash in my hand, realistically. We add Jet, though. He's going to add Adahara. I'm just going to IP Masquerena right here. So at this point, we should have just gave up on Carrot. He already used Emergence. There's not really that many spell cards left that like this type of deck plays. So I really should have just linked all 4 of these cards off instead of leaving the Farajit. Because like if you know the matchup, they don't really play that many spells. It didn't make sense for me to just like hold back one. Because now look what my opponent gets to do. He gets to set up and do kind of whatever he wants. He activates Taya's ability. I'm forced to use Apollosa's ability here. And the thing that's actually super exciting to me is he actually is using Sword Soul Emergence here to increase his level, which allows me to use Carrot, which actually kind of fixes my blunder earlier. And now I can use Revolt. And you know what's funny? He's actually doing this to bait me. He actually wanted to, I'm pretty sure he wanted to bait me so he can use something else. But I can't remember if that's the case. We'll see. So I'm going to use Shurig's ability now. Shurig is going to get rid of Taya. This is incredibly important, by the way. Getting rid of Taya. because if I let this card sit out here, he literally could have just used Ecclesia and just went into anything he wanted anyway. This actually also, like, him not leveling up prevented him from going into Chai Feng too, which is if he was playing that card. It's kind of hard to tell because this is a Duelist Cup. I don't know what the hell people are playing in their decks. But he ends up going into Long Yan. Kind of annoying. And you know what's actually even more annoying? He would not have even been able to do this if I just linked off all 4 to begin with. If I linked all 4 to begin with, right, I would have had the extra 800 attack, so he wouldn't be able to do that monk play, and I would have been able to stop Long Yan. But now I gave him an opportunity to semi-come back. The good thing is, if this is Blackout, me summoning Sprite Check stops it. We see he's playing Rivalry of the Warlords, so now I'm only stuck on Sprite cards. We just find we add Smashers. We can play Elf. Now the thing that's awkward with Smashers, I have to use Smashers to get rid of this card here. Because if I don't, it just, me banishing the cards, he's going to get a free banish on my side. So I have to use on that. So Rivalry gets to stay up. He top decks Vishuddha. I mean, I gotta say, at least these games are kind of interactive. They're kind of fun, you know what I mean? Compared to just people conceding immediately. So he pops this. This is all fine. We have starter in hand. Normal summon Jet. We grab Gamma Burst. Gamma Burst is crazy for bursting your opponent. Hence the name. Like, you do so much damage with Gamma Burst. Like, look at this shit. All absolute Chad units on the field now. Boom. Boom. GG. Goodbye. Goodbye, bucko. Hello. We're here with game number 4 against Mr. I'm So Lonely. Yikes. I don't know about that. I'm going to activate the Fire Formation 10 key. He ashes it. Fine. It's whatever. And then he's going to go for the Maxi, which is really annoying. But we have Sprite Starter. So we're actually going to be able to special summon Red onto the field. And then we're going to be able to add Carrot to hand. So I can just special summon Carrot. He draws 1 card. In exchange, I have a Spell Negate now. He's going to play Cosmic Cyclone. I just let that go through because I don't give a shit. It's like the most pointless card ever. It's clearly just trying to bait. So if you're playing against Predaplant, Orpheus Scorpio, this card's nuts. You want to definitely negate this shit. This card's like really powerful, so you want to negate that. So he's gonna Ash my kit. Kind of annoying. Don't have anything for that. Still worth negating this, by the way. So he adds a plant. He's going to say... So this is another thing that's annoying. So this card they can use for fusion, but I don't think he had anything else. So he's tilted. He just hits me for 700. He's kind of screwed. This is going to kind of show you, like, you don't have to have the most crazy board for your board to be effective. Like, my board was pretty much effective with just shutting him down with just the 2 normal sprites. And those sprites weren't even in my opening hand. Just saving starter because you know he has Max C. Like we're playing around Max C without having Ash in our hand, and sometimes you have to like think outside the box and think because a lot of people when they play with Max C is a little bit of a rant, but a lot of people when they play with Max C they want to get actual value from it. They want to draw cards from it, right? So like it's not good enough for them the Max C ends your turn. It's not they don't want that. They want you. They want to draw fucking 30 cards from you too. So when they Max C you, they only will do it if you're obviously going to special summon. So when I normal summon Kit, he's like, oh, he's. I don't know if he's actually going to special summon though. So when I normal summon Kit and then go straight into Sprite Blue, he's like, oh shit. Now I have to activate Max C because he's clearly playing sprites. You can't react to the sprite summon animation, like activation anyway, Because it's not an activation. It's just you're summoning it. So when he does that, then you can hit him with the starter, and now he's fucked. Because now he only drew 1 card. You got 2 negates. And that's kind of what I'm talking about. I hope that helped you guys understand that a little. Hello, we're here with game number 5, and our hand, again, is horrendous. Seems like we're going back to what we were doing before. So again, we add starter, but we don't activate starter first. We wait. You go into elf. You never want to just throw out your cards for no reason. Now it's fine to go in. We add carrot. Now I had to pick, so technically I could have gotten red and carrot on the board, but if I did that, I would not be able to do any of the Tri-Brigade plays. So instead, I opted for doing Tri-Brigade plays, right? They're going to bring back Kit. Now, if I opened up, so this is the thing. If I opened up Fractal, right? If I opened up Fractal, I think there's a possibility where I could have... Yeah, if I opened up Fractal, I'm pretty sure there's a possibility where we could have ended on Ancient Warriors too. But since I didn't, I mean, you kind of run out of resources. So they're going to bring back Jet. Jet's going to grab starter again. He activates this. He actually goes into Fallen of Alabas. Also, I want to point out this game in particular, I was running out of time. So if you catch the replay of my stream on Twitch, you actually can see the game playing live. And I was running out of time. I legit had like 1 second on the clock when I ended on this board. Or something like that. It was like super, super close. Oh, not 1 second. I was like maybe like I was close, but not like 1 second. You'll see what I'm talking about. So he's gonna activate Bear. So this is actually a big misplay by him. He goes for the pop on Gamma Burst, but I just activate it and he negates the activation, which is really silly because he knows I'm playing Revolt. So this is probably what cost him the match. This one misplay. So he goes into Yugioh, and I think it's because he plays Sword Soul, and in his mind he's like, oh, I got Yugioh. When you use one of Yugioh's abilities, you cannot use the other. You can only use one effect per turn on Yugioh. So I think maybe he was conflating that. He was like a little confused on that. So Moye is gonna draw, then he adds that, which is fine. So he activates it, and I actually can just straight up negate it. He can't do anything about it. And then he tries to hit me with the Floateries, but this card doesn't negate unless you have Ecclesia on the field. So, like, all around, I'm kind of confused with what he's doing. And this is Duelist level. This is definitely, like, at 19 at this point. So it's not like... These are the people... Like, if you're struggling to climb the Duelist level, these are the people you're playing against. Like, sometimes they're not the brightest. So when he's attacking with the last one, I actually activate Revolt to force Mirror Jade. But I also protect my level 2 here, doing this. So I protect the level 2, and I get to just banish this off the map. And Nerval, all these effects activate, they're all juicy. And remember, if you're wondering, normally you probably want Shirak being the last trigger here. The last on the chain link. But I'm like super short on time, I'm like running out of time. So like... I'm just clicking shit fast. So he sets a card. He gets to add that back to his hand. Fine, whatever. So since he uses the negate on Baron de Fleur, he actually brings back Fallen of Albaz, and he fusions off to go into Starving Venom. Which is really annoying. So I'm going to activate Karos's ability. This is going to bait him into using Grandmaster's ability. Fine. I literally did this to bait him. And he summons out. That's fine. I'm like running short in time. I'm like bussing through this. I think I have like 60 seconds to do everything. So it activates Imperm. And then we go into Spright Elf. Spright Elf is going to grab Jet. Jet is going to grab Smashers. Then we go into Gigantic Spright. And we summon Kit. And then Kit is going to be able to go into Ancient Warriors. Ancient Warriors discards Gamma. And I'm not even kidding you. If you watch the replay, I am attacking. I have like 10 seconds left on the clock. So I'm literally just doing as fast as I'm attacking. And I don't even get to set Smashers because I don't have time for it. So I just send Smashers from my hand to the graveyard. Bounce that back. And now I get to activate Gamma Burst. This is actually exact lethal, doing the math. And it's GG. So if you guys were watching this and saying there's no way I get out of this, you can always find a way. Just figure it out. It might take the whole turn, but you'll figure it out at the last 5 seconds of the match. Hello everybody, we're here with the last game number 6, and we're playing against Punk. This is going to be a pretty quick one, I swear. I know this video is going on longer than usual. Debating on whether to remove a game or not. But I thought all the games were pretty good, so I kind of wanted to keep them all in. Even the one where I made misplays in it, I just wanted to keep it in because I think it's still pretty informative. So if someone's playing Tri-Brigade and they're like, I want to really like learn how to play Tri-Brigade Spright, like I feel like it's gonna help them a lot. So I'd rather keep that in. He's doing this shit. He adds fucking Ghost Ogre, kind of annoying. Summons Zap him. He's gonna special summon off the field spell. He goes into Psychic Ends to Punisher. Boom. And then he's going to pass with a set card. So this play is really annoying because he's obviously set up for Amazing Punk Dragon, which bounces 2-3 cards. I'm going to activate Fractal off the rip. Which is going to send that. Sends Fractal. Adds Kairos. We're going to special summon Kairos. We're doing this purposely because I was hoping when I special summoned Kairos, he would activate this card here. But now I'm thinking about it, why would he ever activate this? But I'm also like, I don't want to waste a normal summon. But I feel like I probably should have just wasted a normal summon. This is probably just stupid. I probably should have just normal summoned Kairos, activate its effect, and then when he's going for the bounce, then I could just use Kairos' effect to special summon him afterwards. So this is probably silly. But then he goes for the Ghost Ogre. So, he's going to pop that. So maybe this was a good play to do. Monster Reborn. We bring back Fractal. So we bring back Fractal because... No, I think my play was probably fine now that I'm thinking about it. He had Ghost Ogre anyway. So now he's going to bounce. So I bring back Fractal because I still have my normal summon. Remember, I didn't use it yet. So he bounces back most of my cards. And I'm like, you know what, fucker? I'm going to do whatever I want, bitch. Then we go into Spright Elf. And we're going to add... So I could have went into Gigantic Spright, technically. But if I did that... Yeah, that probably was going to be better. I don't know. So this is a weird thing. I don't really have good outs for Psychic and Punisher. So I actually, in my mind, when I was devising this plan, and obviously people in the chat are baiting me, we kind of came with the plan where like, let's just attack into Psychic and Punisher. So I attack into it. I know I set this before combat. He has nothing. I just did it so it'd be faster. So now I'm at 3,500 health. My opponent makes the biggest misplay of his life. So he gets cocky, right? And he goes into a second Ice Psychic and Punisher. But he doesn't change this to attack. First of all, who the hell runs two of these? Bizarre. But I'm going to bring out the Revolt. This actually does not kill me. Shurg effect activates. And I get to blow up the one that's at 8,000. And then he beats my ass in. Like, if he just switched this to attack, I lose. But he didn't, so now we have a replay to show. So now I activate this, and he just concedes. GG, though. GG. That's all I'm going to say. I thought that was a really interesting and fun match, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let's get to the recap, though. Thank you for watching this far. This is the recap, and please consider subscribing because it does help our channel out a ton. And that being said, also consider joining our Discord. The link is down below because we do host tournaments, and the tournaments are posted in the Discord. And also, that's how you find out when I stream. I do stream pretty regularly, Tuesday, Friday, and Thursday. Not sure why I listed it in that order at 6 p.m. Eastern, but if I end up streaming earlier, you can find out on there. That all being said, how'd the deck perform? The deck performed awesome. It was really good. I already knew it was going to be very good. I definitely really enjoyed the deck. If there's anything I would change in it, I don't even think I would touch anything in the deck. You know what? There was a card I think we were talking about touching. Oh, not that. It was actually, that's not even like the worst card, but like it was actually this card never really came up. Card never came up. So I actually think removing this and bringing in Almirage, just when you have the awkward no cards in hand besides Kit, you can summon, or no cards besides Nerval, you can summon Nerval and then use Almirage to send what do you call it, Nerval to the graveyard, so you can search out like Fractal or one of the other cards to actually set up something. So maybe that's the play. I'm not 100% sure. But it was really good. I'm not going to explain the combos in this or anything like that because you guys seen pretty in-depth games. But the deck performed, I think, was pretty stellar. That all being said, on a power scaling of 1 to 10, I would probably give this deck a solid. It's definitely probably an 8.5 right now. Because it's not as good as the other Spright decks. Like if we're talking about like Pure Spright or even Pure Spright, I think is better, and I also think Runic Spright is better. Because remember, Pure Spright, the thing about the Tri-Brigade cards, they lock you into shit. So when you get locked into stuff, you have to be very careful of what you're doing. And this deck is still missing cards that haven't been released yet, like for Master Duel. So when we get those cards, this deck will definitely spike up. But for right now, it's definitely like an 8.5. And I'm going to give it like a solid like tier 2 deck. It's like a tier 2, possibly pushing 1.5. But I'll say I'm comfortable saying tier 2. It's really good, really consistent, missing cards. So your end board isn't as good as it could be. Because remember, think about this end board compared to Runic. Runic end board, you can end on Field Spell. Field Spell plus full Spright board with double negates and smashers. And you have a bunch of Runic cards in hand. Yeah, might be a little better. This is still very powerful, but you also have like odd interactions with like Revolt. Because you have all these cards filled up, and we have no, like, our payoffs don't really exist too much. So, Revolt's a little awkward to play with, too. Even though it's a very, very good card, you have to get rid of a lot of your cards first for it to work. So, it gets a little awkward at times. But, other than that, I think that if you're thinking about, hey, I'm really thinking about making Tri-Brigade Spright. I already own Spright. I'm thinking about playing Tri-Brigade Spright. I would say 100% go for it. Two things I'm going to say to you, though. Just so you don't waste, like, gems crafting, like dust crafting, I think 100% you can get away just with one Shurig and one Oath. Like, if you don't want the second Shurig, I don't think you need it. But there will be some games you might lose because you don't have Shurig. There's probably like a very small percentage of games you're going to lose because you don't have second Shurig, because you used your first one and now it's your turn again. And you wanted to, like, let's say normal summon Kit, activate kit to summon Shurig or something. And hey, I don't have Shurig anymore. So that's probably going to make you lose a game. So your own discretion. That's all I'm going to say. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys want to see next. And until next time, goodbye.